And then we ask, why? Of course, my respected brothers and sisters in Islam, this is a normal consequence. This is a normal consequence. After the fall of the Ottomans and the destruction of the Khilafah, in each country, al-istimar, the colonization, they're smart. They're not like the Americans. I want you to distinguish between the Americans and the English and the French and the Italians. Normally the Europeans, English, French and the Italians, when they colonized our countries, they are far more intelligent than the Americans. Way advanced than the Americans and more intellectual than the Americans, and they're more cunning than the Americans. Americans are cowboys. They go to a country, they shoot, destroy, demolish, rape and go out. That's what they do. Because they are cowboys, they don't know any better. But those, the English and the Europeans, of course they've done all that. But before they left, they split the subcontinent, for example. Pakistan and India. Today they're doing it in Sudan. They split it to two. Today the news, 99%. I love that 99% figure in elections. I love it. Yani, this donkey of Egypt, he got 99% and half of his people are protesting on the street. Put that together for me. I do not understand it. Subhanallah al-Azim. But that's how, this is the wonders of this time. Yani, this fraud of elections they do. So when they left, they put in each country a stooge, a pawn, in the name of socialism, in the name of communism, in any name, but someone they can always control for their benefit, for their benefits. Every country with no exception, they colonized, they've done that. And one of them, this Egypt. Came the revolution against Malik Farouk, which is he was corrupted with the English anyway, Al-Malik Farouk. A revolution under the name of freeing Egypt from English and Malik Farouk. And what happened is, they put Muhammad Najib in July, year 52. That's why they call it Thawrat Yulyo al-Mubarakah, the blessed revolution of July. The Egyptians have these names for months. You just always wonder, Yulyo, they call it Yulyo. You just wonder, then you say, oh, Yulyo close to July, then it has to be July. Within a couple of years, Jamal Abdel Nasser, in a revolution also, because I want you to pay attention, because the thawra, the revolution, if it's not steered correctly, it brings disasters. Eventually, it's going to bring disaster. And the people you see leading Egypt today, they are children of that revolution. Where Ad-Dubbat al-Ahrar, the free commanders in the army, revolted against the king, removed the king, they put Muhammad Najib, and then after him came Jamal Abdel Nasser. And Jamal Abdel Nasser hailed as a hero to our grandfathers. A hero, you can't even, you know Ataturk in Turkey? The same thing. They're hailed as heroes. And I will mention to you the story of Ataturk and how he got into power. But give me a minute. They're hailed as heroes. Whilst Jamal Abdel Nasser, another Fir'aun in reality. The face was face of freedom. Why? Because the Arabs are emotional people. You get someone, give them a good speech, and they rise up, Allahu Akbar. They just go, where are you going? Allahu A'lam, we're just following this man. He just gave us a good speech. That's true or not? Jamal Abdel Nasser was known for his speeches. He used to be able to move the people with a speech. It started that he showed that he's part of Ikhwan al-Muslimun. After that, he changed straight away and he started to mock them. And then from mockery turned into slaughter. Slaughter. It was known as Sijn al-Harbi. Sijn al-Harbi was a jail that is known, yani puts a Guantanamo Bay in its small pocket. Think of Abu Ghraib and everything that happened to it and time it by 100. And one of the people who got oppressed in it, Al-Allama, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gather him with the Shuhada, Sayyid Qutb. And many other ulama, but this is the one we know. There's many we do not know their names, may Allah bless them all. He destroyed them. And he made them a fairy tale that they tried to assassinate him in the park. He was in the park in the Manshia and someone shot at him. They tried to kill me. Then they grabbed all the Ikhwan and locked them up. raping their mothers, raping their daughters, raping their children, starving dogs and releasing dogs on them. This is just tip of the iceberg. That's what he done in darkness. After him came Anwar al-Sadat. Then also he was another oppressor. But the people used to love him because he had the mark of salat on his face. So people used to think, oh mashallah, look. But he was another enemy of Allah, where he literally sold the land to the Yahud. As if he owns it. As if he owns the land, he sold it to them. After him came this Hosni Mubarak. But the oppression against the Muslims continued. The movie continued, but in different ways and different means. And what you see today is as a result of what's been happening. Now, as Muslims, we have this revolution in front of us. And we have this mudaharat, protest in front of us. And it's not going any easier. It's escalating day by day. We say first and foremost, Alhamdulillah. Finally, the people started to realize that there is a way out if they stick together and they come out together. Even though our ulama and mashayikh, they always said and called, oh people, get out and rebel against us rulers. Use any mean that you have. And wallahi, I remember a quote from a shaykh. He said, how many millions inside Egypt, for example? 50, 60 million? 100 million. If 1 million dies as a shaheed, وَيَتَّخِذَ مِنْكُمْ شُهَدَاء, and Allah to take shuhada and martyrs from you. Yani one of the aims of the shariah for you to become a shaheed fi sabilillah. And then you bring the haqq and the shariah to the people and the light of the shariah. The rest of the 99 million, they live under the shade of shariah. So what? But people don't realize that. Until it came to them to a stage that they can't find the bread to eat. And then they said, khalas. So as you see, it's mixed emotion. The Muslim, the true Muslims, they want the Sharia. The socialists amongst them, they want to change him so they can put their own stooge. Everyone wants to capitalize. And we know now there is a person whose name Al-Barad'i, for example. This person against the niqab. He says a woman can be a leader. He says the Christian can be also can rule the Muslim land. There's no problem if one day Egypt elect their president as a Christian. He had no issue with all that. Now they're pushing him to the front to take over. What is our ulama in this? And I call upon them. Our ulama in Egypt. Our teachers in Egypt. Whom we listen to your tapes. And we grew up listening to your tapes. We grew up with all full of respect till today, until now to you. Our mashayikh, where are they? The mashayikh of Salafism, where are they? What are they saying? Al-Qaradawi, whom we attack every day, he stood up and says, Irhal ya Mubarak, Mubarak, leave before the Egyptians break your legs, get out. And our mashayikh are saying nothing except we're trying to establish committees to protect the wealth that doesn't get stolen. This is not what we want from you, ya Shaykhana. Oh, our Shaykh, this is not what we want. Jazakallah khair. But we want you to influence this, because one day, if the ones we do not desire take the ruling of Egypt, you lost the confidence of people forever. People would not turn towards you. People would turn to whom? To Qaradawi and Ikhwan, that you're always try to propagate that. They're not following the correct manhaj. Who are we going to follow? The people need their ulama to stand up and talk now. This is the opportunity. Allah opened this door of opportunity. We ask our ulama to get up and speak. Now, it is the time. And to incite all the Muslim world to rebel against the tyrants. And to ask for only one thing. We want the Sharia of Islam. That's what we want. We want Islam. We Muslims. And if we find izzah in other than Islam, what's coming to happen to us? Allah will humiliate us. Enough humiliation.